Hello, everyone. Happy Tip Thursday. All right, I'm a little tired. I am a little tired. We have been, my team and I, all day. My dogs have decided to fight right now. That's awesome. All day, my team and I have been recording videos, content for next year, which is incredible. But I am so tired of talking, and I'm so tired of having a light in my face and being on video. But that's okay. I'm here because even though this topic that we're going to talk about today maybe sounds a little boring, I'm actually really excited about it. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but they are just going to be, you know what. That is just the mood we're in today. This topic is super important because it really does help you get set up so that when it comes to the tax season, you're not stressed, you've got everything in order, and most importantly, you don't miss out on tax deductions and tax savings opportunities. In fact, I saw something today, and I forget if I can remember where I saw it, I'll post it. It said something like 70% of small business owners are overpaying on their taxes because they're not organized. Like because they either their bookkeeping's not in order, or they're not keeping their documents organized. Like basically they're missing out on stuff because they're not doing a good job of that record keeping and that organization. So that's why I'm excited about today's topic. Let me go ahead and pull up our slides, because I know we got some slides. I'm about ready to kick the two of them out of my office if they get real nasty with each other. They love each other. I swear they love each other. But we got a new dog. She's Edie. She's very happy and lovable, and we love her so much. But they like to play. And you know how dogs are when they play, and they get mouthy with each other. So anyway, hopefully they quiet down. If not, I'll kick them out. But let's go ahead and dive in. Because again, important topic, may not seem so sexy, but I promise you this is a good one. We're going to take off the banner that says we'll be live soon. We're clearly not with it today. For folks who are here watching us live, let me know if you've got any questions as I go through. Very happy to answer those questions for you. And let's go ahead and dive in. So if this is you when it comes to tax time, if you are just like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this. Let me pull my hair out. I'm screaming. I hate tax time. If that is you, you're in the right spot. What we're going to talk about today is going to help you not be this person. I can point this way. Not be this person, okay? So this is not what I want you to be when we get to tax time, all right? We are going to work on that. So I've got some tips for you today. We're going to go through these fast. These are not complicated things. I don't need lots of slides to explain these things. Like this is not complicated stuff. I've got some just hot tips for you that you can implement today that can help you not be this person, okay, when it comes to tax time. So tip number one, and you've heard me say this a million times before, is to have an accounting system and keep it up to date. I cannot stress how important this is. I work with so many business owners who come to me with no accounting systems. And at the end of the day, I cannot help you if you are not keeping good records of what's going on in your business. That's not my job as your CPA, by the way. That's not our job. That is your job as the business owner. And if you want to have someone help you, that's fine. You can have a bookkeeper or whatnot. That's fine. But that is your job. And it's one of the most critical things you can do in your business because it ensures, number one, that you're actually tracking what's going on in your business. That's super important. You can't know what's going on if you're not actually tracking it. You can't make changes and adjustments if you're not actually tracking it. I'm kicking them out. Hold on. Do y'all hear this? They're having a field day. Come on. Outside. I should know this by now. It's always the afternoon when they're like, we're going to have a little scrimmage. So cool. But this is why. So number one, so that you know what's going on in your business, right? Number two, because if you don't track the numbers in your business, you're going to miss out on tax deductions. You're going to miss out on tax savings. If we don't know that you've got business expenses, we're not going to deduct them on the tax return. If we can't see what's going on in your business, we're not going to know to be able to say, hey, there's a credit for that, or hey, you should try this option, okay? So having an accounting system is hugely important. Now, I did say these tips were like quick and easy. This one maybe isn't so much. This one does take a little bit of time, but y'all know I love Wave Apps. So I highly recommend Wave Apps is a great tool for most people. It's completely free. It's easy to set up. It's easy to use. So if you're thinking like, I got to do this, go ahead and grab Wave Apps at waveapps.com. Get it set up. Now, I don't necessarily, we're in kind of a funny time period right now because we're in like middle of November, month and a half from the end of the year. If you get set up in an accounting system now, you're going to have to go back and put in everything from January 1st through today. Now, your bank, you're going to sync your accounting system with your bank, right? Your bank account may do that. It may let you go back to January 1st. And if it does, great. You're still going to have to categorize everything, make sure it's all in there correctly, but cool, it's in there. If your bank doesn't go back that far, then you're probably gonna have to download stuff from your bank, your online portal of your bank, and then upload it into Wave. Same thing, go back and categorize it. So when you're getting set up in an accounting system right now, it's not super fun because you gotta go back and do all those months. The alternative is you could wait till January 1st, 2022. So you could wait till January 1st of the next year to start your accounting system. Now, the downside to that is it's not gonna help you for this year's taxes, for 2021's taxes. But the upside is you don't have to go back and categorize and reconcile and make sure all these months are cleaned up and good. So if you're feeling super stressed about this idea, then go ahead and get it started. And we've got here, Wave is the best. Absolutely. Totally agree. If you're feeling super stressed about this, go ahead and start it January 1st, start it clean, and just do it for next year so that next year when you're doing your next year's taxes, you're in good shape. But if you want to have this year be good, go ahead and get set up on Wave or any accounting system, whichever you prefer, now, and just know that you're going to have to do that cleanup for the part of the year that we've already passed. All right, so step number 2 or tip number 2 to be in good organized shape for tax season is to use a receipts app. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't buy a ton of stuff in my business, like physically go buy a ton of stuff. So I don't get a lot of actual paper receipts. Most of my receipts are digital, and we're going to talk about those in a second. But for any receipts you have that are paper, or for if you happen to have a business where you're getting a lot of paper receipts, this is for you. I want you to find a receipts app. Now, I don't have one in particular that I recommend, other than I will say this. If you're using Wave apps, they have a receipts app. So it's called Receipts by Wave, I think is how it shows up in the App Store. And you should use that app if you're using Wave apps because it syncs with Wave apps. But if you are using a different accounting system, or if you haven't gotten your accounting system set up yet, go ahead and grab another receipts app. There are tons of them out there. The purpose here is just finding something that allows you with your phone to take a quick picture of that receipt and upload it to one spot so that you've got those receipts saved. I don't want to see these shoe boxes of receipts. That's not a great system, okay? We want to have everything saved in one spot, ideally digitally, so that you can transfer it to your accountant or into your tax prep system or whatever, super easy. So again, if you're using Wave apps, get the Receipts by Wave app. If you're not using Wave apps, if there is an app related to your accounting system, get that one. Otherwise, you can just choose any. There are a ton out there. Tip number 3, go digital as much as possible. I cannot recommend this enough. I still have some folks who get their credit card statements in paper and all of that. Ideally, we don't want to do that. Now, if that's you and you're like, look, it's just the way I am, I'm stuck in my ways, fine. But if you can go digital, it's ideal. And the reason is because it makes it that much easier for you to save down that information so you can keep it in one place. We're going to talk about download days and a couple of tips and a couple of steps. But the idea here is if you can go digital as much as possible for your invoices, for your receipts, for every piece of financial paperwork, even things like 1099s and W-2s, if you can get those digitally, it's going to make a huge difference come tax time because it's going to make it so much easier to save all of that in one spot. Okay, so I really want you to try to go digital as much as humanly possible. My business is almost entirely digital. I get very little paper when it comes to like tax documentation because I've worked hard to make sure that I just don't. Tip number 4, have one place to store your tax documents. I highly recommend something. So if you're not working with an accountant, I highly recommend something like a Google Drive or Dropbox, just one spot where you can easily upload all of your financial docs, your tax docs, anything you're going to need for tax time. I recommend it be a place that is accessible in all of your devices and by all of the people in your family. So if you've got a spouse that you file with, they can access it as well. You can access it on your phone, so you can be uploading those receipts. You can access it on your computer to put in the invoices that you get by email. One place where you store all your tax documents. Get this set up now. Get it set up at the beginning of the year so that when that first thing comes in, you're not you're not sitting there going, oh gosh, where am I going to store all this? I'll just put it on my desktop. I'll figure it out later. I will tell you, this is what I do. I have, now I use a client portal. So if you are working with an accountant, hopefully they have a client portal where you can store documentation. I put myself on my own client portal. So I'm set up on there. There's an app as well for my client portal. So if I'm on my phone, I can easily upload something. But what I do is, let's say I get an email with some kind of a financial document that I know I need to upload into my client portal for myself. I go ahead and just flag it in my email. And then probably about once a month, I'll go in and all the things that have been flagged, I'll make sure those get uploaded to that one place. But the most important part is just make sure you have one place and that it's easily accessible so that you're not scrounging around looking for all of these documents. Tip number 5, schedule download days. So if you've been with me for a while, you know I love this concept of a download day. Now, download day is actually sounds a lot longer than it really is. It's not a whole day. I usually say about an hour, and I recommend you put this hour on your calendar once a quarter. So once a quarter, you're going to schedule some time for your download day. Here's what you're doing during this download day. You're going to go into every account that you spend money on for your business. So Kajabi, ConvertKit, Facebook ads, I don't know, Squarespace. I'm trying to think of all the different places you might spend money. I don't know. I don't know what other tools are, but any other tools you have that you spend money on a regular basis, you're going to go into all of those and you're going to download the invoices and the receipts from where you paid those bills for the last quarter. And this is so much more efficient than every time you get an email from Kajabi that says, we just billed you for your monthly fee, and you log into Kajabi, you download the invoice, you upload it to your wherever you're going to save all your tax stuff. That's less efficient. What I want to see is you do it in bulk. So you do it on these download days, you log into all of them at once, you pull down a few months at a time, and then you upload them into, again, your Google Drive, your Dropbox, your client portal, wherever it is that you decided to save all this documentation. That way, you're doing it in bulk, you're much more efficient about it, and you're not constantly wasting time trying to save all this stuff down. Frankly, that's how stuff ends up getting lost, because you're like, oh, I'll just log in and grab this. You'll download it to your desktop, you'll forget to put it into your tax folder. And so then tax time comes around and oops, you don't have that receipt. So I love download days for this reason. Again, an hour is usually plenty of time to get all these receipts in. Now, I often get asked, do I need to then upload the receipt into my accounting system and attach it to the expense? Look, that's the ideal. That's like technically what you're supposed to do, but that's a lot of extra work. And I don't think that extra work is absolutely necessary. If you got audited and they went into your accounting system and said, show us proof of this expense and this expense and this expense, it's not that hard for you to then go into your tax folder, which is, again, Google Drive, Dropbox, Client Portal, and pull up the receipt for that particular expense. That's an extra step. I'd rather take that extra step on the off chance I get audited, a couple of years from now, than add in that extra step for every single expense now, just on the off chance I get audited. So that's my recommendation as well. Okay, tip number 6, and this is a super important one. They're all important, but this is really important. Review your information early. I cannot tell you how it's so funny. It kind of gets to be about the end of March and we filed most of our clients' returns, and maybe we've got a few lagging, but most of them are out the door. We start to get quiet. And then all of a sudden it's the panicked emails from people who say, I just started to look at everything for the taxes that are due in, a week, and I'm freaking out and I don't know what to do. And can you help me? And are you taking clients on? Don't be that person. Whether or not you're working with an accountant, review the information early, because that's when you can figure out, number one, is it accurate? Not all tax documents are accurate. 1099s can be wrong, my friends. Okay. So make sure it's accurate. Number two, do I have everything? I cannot tell you how many clients I've gotten emails from. They're like, oh, I forgot to give this to you 3 months after we filed their return. That means we have to amend the return, which, by the way, means you're going to be paying me a fee to do that, because we don't just amend returns for free. That's work we've got to do on our end. So make sure you're looking at that information to make sure you've got everything you need, so that you're not, we do not want to take a phone call right now. Forgot to turn our do not disturb on. So that you're not that person who is, scrounging around last minute trying to get stuff together, or worst case, having to amend a return because you forgot to include something entirely. Okay. So super important, review your information early. What I typically recommend folks do is you set aside some time in mid to late January to sit down and review what you have. You won't necessarily have everything at that point. Remember that you probably won't have your 1099s yet. You probably won't have your, if you get W-2s, you may not have those yet. If you get K1s, you almost certainly won't have those yet. So there will be stuff you're missing, and that's okay. But if you do that sit down in January to start to gather what you have, I've got all the receipts for my charitable contributions, I've got my P&L for my business, et cetera, et cetera. Then you can make a list of what you're missing. And then when it comes in, you can cross it off. So then February, March, whenever that information starts to come in, then you can do another check and say, okay, is there anything else I need to make sure I have? Does everything that I've received look correct? Am I good to go? Cool? All right. I think that's it. I think I had 6 tips. Let's see. Yes, I did. So if you do all of this, if you do these 6 tips, you will feel like this. This is like this. It's always the opposite of what I think it is. You will feel like this. It's this way out of my computer. So anyway, this is how I want you to feel, right? I want you to feel glorious and fabulous and like taxes don't suck, which they don't have to. And if you do these tips, if you get organized, if you spend just a little bit of time now getting your, in order, you will feel this good when it comes time to doing your taxes. Cool? All right, my friends. You've probably heard me talk about this before, but we are opening up spots on December 1st for our tax prep. Now, it's actually going to be 2 things. It's going to be our 2022 annual tax prep package. But spoiler alert, if you sign up by December 31st, you are going to get your 2021 taxes done for free. So if you're not a current client and you want to get on the annual tax prep package, this is the way to do it, because you're going to get everything in the 2022 annual tax prep package. You get the tax return prep, you get the quarterly tax calculations, you get the quarterly tax planning calls, you get the unlimited access to Ask Me Questions for like 16 months. You get tons of other fun things and bonuses, but you also get your 2021 taxes done for free. So you basically get 2 years done for free. In order to grab a spot, you've got to be on that wait list, because we are almost certainly going to sell out when we open up spots on December 1st. We don't have that many spots for this. And I will tell you, if you've been on my wait list, any wait list for me before, you know that I always send a special treat whether or not you sign up. So you want to be on this wait list, megkwheeler.com/tax. That's how you get on the list. We're opening up spots December 1st. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, I'm not sure I'm ready for the full annual tax prep package, but I do want some help, this is also the same day that we will be opening up spots for my 2021 tax prep only. So if you want us to do your 2021 taxes, but you're not quite ready for the full year-long package going into 2022, totally fine. Still get on the wait list. We're going to send you the link for the 2021 tax prep only option as well, so you can sign up for that then. So again, megkwheeler.com/tax. Do not go into the 2021 tax season without a plan. Whether it's hiring me, it's hiring someone else, or it's doing them yourselves, do not make this decision, or do not let this decision wait until March or April of next year, because I promise you it's not going to be fun. That's how you're going to feel like the first person on the first slide pulling her hair out, right? The way that you feel like this lady right here, this chickie, is you get on that wait list, megkwheeler.com/tax, or you figure out whatever tax plan is going to work for you. Cool? And again, treats. You literally get a treat. As a current client, do I have to do anything to keep going? I love the tax prep package. It has made a total difference in my business, and it's worth every penny. Woohoo! I love hearing that. You are going to get a separate email probably next week with instructions on how to keep going. So current clients, you're going to get a separate email. You can ignore all the stuff you're going to hear from me about the December 1st stuff. Your spot is definitely saved. We're going to give you instructions on how to do that. Okay, friends, I'm going to wrap it up there. This was a shorty but a sweet one. Hopefully, gave you just some tips on how to get organized for tax season. I hope everybody is having an awesome week. We will be back here again next week for another Tip Thursday. So next Thursday, hope everybody's having a great week. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody. Talk to you soon.